My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Cristani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I'm joined by lovely Aisha Makara. So she is a resilient Mongolian artist, an engineer, and an entrepreneur with a remarkable life journey. It all started as an orphan in Russia, but she refused to let her circumstances define her. Instead, she embarked on a thrilling adventure traveling the world and getting an engineering degree in Norway. Together with co-funding a successful property management company in Portugal, Lisbon White Rose LLC, she transformed spaces into captivating havens, including a boutique hotel with uniquely designed rooms. Aisha's insatiable curiosity and language fluency allowed her to explore over 70 countries, broadening her horizons. Settling in Miami, she dove into her artistic dreams, organizing art events and immersing herself in the blockchain and crypto world, even initiating NFThursdays. Fueled by her trailblazing spirit, she went on to organize captivating festivals and achieved an incredible milestone in 2023, becoming one of the first artists to send her artwork to space engraved in gold. Currently based in New York, Manhattan, she's passionately bridging the gap between the real and digital worlds, inspiring others to embrace the transformative power of their dreams. And she's joining us on this amazing journey. So a big thank you, Aisha, for coming to speak to us.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We're not actually in Europe. I'm based in Lisbon. It's a little bit changed. I got to change it in my bio.
That's okay. We can
Yeah,
update that.
exactly. We're updating it right now. I'm doing good. It's 5 a.m. here in Lisbon, Portugal. Just like a little bit different time frame that we're all living, a little different
Exactly.
the realities.
Well, thank you for
And
getting
still we're
up
all
so
connected.
early. Exactly. Well, thank you for
Yes.
getting up early. It's 2 p.m. here in Australia, so we're in the afternoons,
Yeah,
but
it's the
thank
same
you.
day, right? It's
Yes,
still the
same
same
day.
day.
We've
Yeah,
caught up
okay, cool,
now.
cool.
I'm not in the future yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes I have like a little bit earlier, like let's say I'm still in 10, like let's say I'm 10 September and you're already like in Australia in 11. So it's like you're calling from the past to the future. It's like
I
so
know.
funny.
I know. It's fun. It's fun. I often have American guests on the show and I have them on early morning and I'll be like, hi from the future. And they're like, what's happening over there? So I feel there's a lot to unpack with your journey. You have had quite amazing life so far, right? And I feel what was it like, stepping out of that kind of identity of being an orphan and creating your own life, how you want to build it?
You know, it's so interesting because I felt sometimes when I've been a kid, I always have so many dreams. And my my idea of life was like living all these dreams because kids doesn't understand what's real, what is not real. They don't have like you get to be this, you get to be that. And my idea of me being adult is like traveling around the world and living in the different places around the world. And that's what I started to do when I was like 10. I wanted to be someone and I just want to be a traveler. I just want to like go from one reality to another reality. Because for me, I learned one things when I started to move around and decided to live in a different location or different places. It's just like living in a different realities. It's like every place it's so different. I mean, it's all the same and different. Like people have a jobs, people have study, people have, the same things, the same kind of like different struggles, and still it's different.
Mm.
It's the way people think, the way people act, the way people have the struggles. For example, when I was living in Mongolia or Russia. So for me, it's like the different struggles. And now after moving to Europe and have a different struggles, like it's so different. So I cannot like it's such a broad answer or like philosophical question that you asked me. Like it's for me, it's like so much to cover. That's why I believing in energy. We are all energy. We're connecting right now. You're in Australia, I'm here in Europe. The power of internet, the power of connection right now, it's so strong. In the same time, we're so far away from each other. What's
Mm.
connecting us is the energy, actually. For me, like sometimes like internet is just the energy that we have this opportunity to connect with each other and find the connection points in a different way and to find our why that it's connecting us, our whys, our curiosity, our way of asking questions. And, like questions is so important. It's what I learned as an artist. We artists, we're always questioning things. My work of art is all about galaxies and exploration of other galaxies because it's billions of galaxies over there. And when I started to create, my creation was always connected to the DNA. And first I was discovering like a DNA and I was trying to understand how the DNA works. And I was like, okay, I get to imagine, just kind of like use my imaginary to create it in a paper or create it with the tools that I have. And after I started to imagine how the universe works, how the galaxy works, because all the galaxies connected with each other. We
Mhm.
are all like, we're moving and moving and moving in this like universal law. And at the same time, we're all connected. That's what for me is fascinating. We're all connected through the energy, all
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, and it's amazing how like your travels took you to all these different cultures, but you could still see that we're all connected at some level, right? And then
Hmm. Hmm.
to be able to speak, how many languages do you speak? I feel to ask that.
Yeah, I speak several languages, like 4 or 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
fluently, actually, fluently, all of them. But I'm not
Yeah.
like, I'm not the one who speaks. I have meet people who speak fluently like more languages, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so fascinating because every time when we're speaking extra language, it's adding to our personality. It's adding to our way of thinking and realizing language is a code, and it's like the way the language works is the way we're expressing ourselves to the world, the
Mm,
words that we're expressing. Because our words are so powerful. And for me, it's like English is way like now in our days, English is most powerful language because it's one of the easiest language to communicate the words. That it's not easy to communicate and the same time. It's so easy, it's like flowing. It's like very easy way to like living life actually when we understand the way language works. Because by me learning so many languages and like Norwegian is very hard language to learn. Russian is very hard. Like, and I'm just feeling like all these languages is not easy because the way we think in that language, it's very different from language to language. And for me, the core belief, the core me, it's still the same. It doesn't
mm,
matter what languages I'm speaking. I'm still me, I'm still have my reality that I'm expressing it through the words that I'm choosing. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's so magical. Like really like language is so magical because you're learning about language, you're learning about culture, learning about traditions, you're learning about the way people think. And it's just great. I'm
y-
curious. I'm always curious.
I was going to say, you have a genuine curiosity about humans, really. It's
Yes.
about,
Yes. I'm feeling like I haven't been in Australia. I just know that Australians are very positive. The Australians I meet here in Europe who travels, like me, like British is kind of like every time they drink, they're a little bit like negative, like they kind of complaining a lot. Australians always happy. And even with just drinking, they're happy drinkers, They find every time these happy ways of figuring out things and, like very solution oriented. I don't know. It's different. Maybe the Australians I meet is just different than that in Australia. I'm just saying that from my own like experience that I had experience with Australians or New Zealand. Very different. New Zealand people are very different from Australian people. For me, it was like in the beginning, I was like, oh, they're the same and completely different.
Mm.
Even the way you
Mm.
think, it's different. Even you speak the same language, the way you think, it's very different.
Yeah, exactly. And it all comes back from cultural beliefs and like the society that you grow up to as well. You know, this is what impacts our expression of ourselves and it impacts our ability to show up in the world. So, you know, it's really beautiful that you've traveled so much and you get to see all those different relations between everybody and the different how different cultures come across. And so how did this lead to you then developing your artwork, which it got put in space randomly?
Yeah, and I had so many, like this is what I used to say. I have so many dreams. And when I was a kid, we started to have a geography class. And I remember I was telling to my teacher, I'm going to travel to all these places. And the teacher was like laughing at me and saying like, ha ha ha, of course, because I was living in the middle of nowhere in a village, with no access to anything. We didn't have internet, we didn't have phones, we didn't have any, like it's very like disconnected, or like I would say, completely far away. It's very cold winters, it's very like the environment is not good for, living your dreams. It's that you like in such a environment, it's not easy to get out of that
Mm,
environment. It's completely like almost impossible. And at the same time, I said to myself, I'm a winner, I can do absolutely anything. It's not about money, it's about mindset. People like limited themselves because of the money. They say like, "Oh, I don't have this. I don't have." Instead, to focus on what they have. And every time
mm,
I said, "I have me. That's enough. I'm going to it and explore." No, I'm going like on a journey of discoveries of my own potential. And every time when I'm doing that, I'm discovering so much about myself. So I'm like, wow, it's just like I cannot even imagine how much we can do with our mind, how much we can explore and learn about ourselves. When we don't have any kind of like here, it's like just understanding that everything is illusion. Absolutely all of this illusion. So you get to every time to access a new reality by, from my perspective, it was through pictures, like vision board. People used to say like, oh, create a vision board. Yes, we get to create a vision board. At the same time, we get to practice and being very, very connected with universe, when universe giving you opportunities, and universe giving you opportunities all the time, or God, whatever you decided to choose, because they're always giving you sign, always giving
mm,
you opportunities to live your dream for real in this reality. And when people say to me, heaven and hell, this idea of the heaven and hell, it's like, you know what? I choose. I'm living an illusion anyway, or simulation. I choose to live in heaven. I'm living in
mm,
heaven. Yes, some things happen anyway, like accessing that reality of heaven. You get to imagine that heaven. You really get to like work on the imaginary, and imaginary is very powerful. So for me having my dreams and living them, I started to realize when one of my dreams become true. When I was 20 years old, I ended up like traveling all the places I want to go. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was thinking it's going to take me all my life. And here I am, with all these places, and I'm still so young. So I didn't have extra dreams. So I started to work, I started to kind of have normal life, like wild travels, just normal travels, like just continue to travel. But I want to do something different.
mm,
And eventually, I started to create more dreams. And these dreams was connected to the space. And I was like, okay. And then during the COVID, I created this dream to send my art to the space, and to send myself to the space and paint a rocket, with my art. So I sent that artwork to Elon Musk, to Jeff Bezos, and to Richard Branson. And so was, Elon Musk I asked to send my art to the space. And I wrote like letter to all of them, like to the Santa Claus. I call like, oh, you're writing a letter to the Santa Claus, and some of them will respond, some of them not respond. But the thing is like they created the project, and
mm,
the funny things, That's what I used to say. I continue to communicate it with the people or like express it. I said like, I want to send my art to the space. This I want to do as an artist. Because like I interview hundreds of the artists to understand what it is to be an artist. You know,
Yeah.
I interview so many like creative people to understand what it is to be creative. And many of them, they just do things by doing it. They don't have the goal or they don't have the like what it is to be accomplished artist. Everyone has this idea, a different idea of the being accomplished artist. And for me, I was like, okay, what it is if I send my art to the space? Or whether
Mm.
like what would be its accomplishment, would be its accomplishment to do my exhibition or to create exhibitions, to create different pop-ups. I don't know. I just like learn to have as many dreams as possible. It's better for my being.
Yeah.
It's better. That means I'm still alive. I'm feeling this life itself because by having the dreams, you like have the drive to like listen. Very important as well to be present in the moment and listen to the universe or to the
Mm.
God when they're speaking to you. And they're speaking to you all the time. And the most important also, listen to your heart. Now, not listen to your brain, listen to your heart.
Mm.
Your brain
Mm.
has always have these programs because it's been installed in us. The heart, when the heart is like, calm down, it's all good. We're living in a very materialistic world. And the funny thing is like the way materialistic world works, like it's everything is demanding, it's demand from us, like doing the things that we don't even want to do many times. And at the same time, what have to do it. We have to do it, because we don't have a choice. And when we wake up one day and say, like, you know what? I do have a choice. I do have a choice. And not so many people realize. Some people already like working towards their independent or like getting out of the grief because like we all like kind of like living in this one spot for all our life. Many people right now realizing it and started to kind of like having this nomad life, traveling from place to place, and of course remote jobs helping. And it's very good because we have these remote opportunities around the world. The thing is like it's also for people. It's opportunity for people to live all these different realities because if we don't have remote jobs, we didn't have the opportunity for people to travel and live in different
Mm.
locations. The funny thing is people don't integrate themselves. Even so they travel to all these different places. They don't integrate themselves so much in the
Mm.
different cultures. They don't learn.
I feel it's because a lot of people, when they go on holiday or vacation, they want to escape their life, right? Because they just want to tune out. And then when they're escaping something and running away from something, you're not actually going to integrate yourself into something new because you also then have that fear and that deadline of going back to the life that you escaped from in the first place. Whereas when you go with the intention to learn about a culture or to learn more about the place that you are in, it's a different kind of energy, right? And it allows you to be more open and be more observant of
Hmm.
how things work. Years ago when I traveled Europe, my husband and I had no plan. We weren't married yet, but we had no plan. We just hired a car in Lisbon and then we drove. And we just stopped where we felt to stop because we were curious about the place and we genuinely went in to learn about it, and we would explore the town and just be genuinely curious and eat the food and eat the local, like especially in Italy, like, you ask for the house wine and you ask for the specials and you ask for whatever is, so you can fully immerse in whatever is happening in that area. And it's a very different experience than just going to a beach holiday and laying on the beach and wanting to do nothing except drink a cocktail.
Exactly. It's very like imagine like move to this reality. For me in Europe, I was living in America for several years and I'm missing Europe so much. I'm missing the food, I was missing the culture, I was missing the history. I really like feel like I love to have this like small streets. I love to have this like food here. It's like so family, so like so cozy and so much love. I'm feeling like so well like connected here. I don't know. It's like still like this old ways of connecting with each other, you care about each
Mm.
other, you know? It's like it's you still have this care. And I feeling like we're missing that around the world because like by traveling or like have this remote opportunities to travel around the world, people are staying very disconnected from the yes, they experience the local food, they're experiencing the culture, they're experiencing like some things. And they kind of like were in observer mode than on the, on the mode of the being part of it because some nomads they're staying, for example, in Indonesia or Thailand or like anywhere. Like sometimes it's in Europe as well, many places. Even they stay for 3 months, 6 months, and go back to America, and again doing this. They still don't integrate them so much. So much. That's one
Mm.
of the realities. Don't spend. They spend a little bit of time on the language and they don't understand, they don't learn about the history. Now, history is very important. I feel like when people learning about the history of the world, history of the even like 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, like real, not just from the school, have that curiosity to learn when you're moving to the country, like it's like right now access about the history books and everything is can be in your own language and you still can access that information. I love it. I love the history and maybe it's one of my things as well. I love to read. That's why I like to learn from different sources. And for me, it's so
Mm.
fascinating the way Europe had fun. The Renaissance time, the way the Renaissance developed, why it's developed because of the finally people stopped to fight, stopped to have like this bloody wars and they started to kind of like slowly, have fun, enjoying the beauty of like imaginary,
Mm.
the like that time of all the painters or all these people who were writing the books, the imaginary was like and the architectures and the it was so beautiful. Like people really, really help each other to like to learn, to explore the potential, their mental potential of creating. Look at the
Yeah.
Barcelona, look at the Florence, look at the Rome. It's just like it's just giant. And I'm feeling like that reality is amazing. It's just so fairy tale. Like, people like really wanted to live that fairy tale in a real life by creating all this amazing architecture from that time that we still can see and imagine that they kind of living in the fairy tale. For
Mm.
me, it's like, wow, I haven't seen it anywhere like in the world. Like it's different fairy tale, if you go to Asia, many different cool like architecture as well there. It's so different.
Mm.
When you look at the architecture and the history behind that, you learn like how the things works. You learn that everything is architecture. So like that time 700 years ago, 600 years ago, when it started to immerse. And until today, like the way we develop, it's just so awkward. That time, the way we created this beautiful architecture and today, the way we're creating the things, so different.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm asking myself why I'm not living there.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess this is wherever you pulled inspiration from, so you can tap back into that creativity and allow yourself to flourish. And it's not just for women, it's for men as well. It's all about if you have that creative outlet, it allows you to drop out of your head and into your heart space. And it allows you to be more connected with yourself and that around you. Because when you shut off that creativity, you're shutting off a part of yourself. And it doesn't matter if you paint, if you do terrible pottery, whatever it is, it doesn't matter as long as you're trying and having fun and joyous and being curious about it at the same time. You never know what will evolve from that and how that will show up. If whether it's writing, singing, it doesn't matter, dancing, it's just some way to allow your creativity to flow and allow that energy to come through, which was similar, like you said, to that time, like the architect that you see going through Europe. And I agree with you, they were works of art, right? Like the intricacies and the sacred geometry. And when you look at how
Yes.
well they lined up with the stars, these like the astrological implications and everything behind it. The beauty and the thought that goes into those designs is truly incredible. Coming from a country where we don't really have that, and it's really interesting because I look at modern architecture and it's very rarely I'm inspired. I think it's incredibly, it's very, I want to say more masculine energy rather than incorporating the beauty of nature and everything around it. So hopefully there'll be a shift at some point with that. Hopefully.
Well, I don't have any kind of it's just, it is what it is. You gotta kind of accept that side of the reality. The things is like we getting more and more lazy, from my perspective, because we getting to this access of easiness, just press the button, press the button, press the button. You don't even need to think anymore. Even creating things right now, it's just press the button, You kind of like I was questioning that some years ago about what direction I want to go. Like, do I want to go direction towards digital reality? And now I'm facing, of course, that I got to probably go towards a digital reality because that's the easy way, like really easy way. Because I was kind of fighting toward that. I want to be more grounded and more like working with my hands and doing more like physical work. I would say like then I mean it's good to have the access of traveling around and just settle anywhere you want. And at the same time have the vision why you do what you do. And I'm just feeling life is going to happen anyway. That's why I used to say to the people when I moved to United States, it's like being artist and, like started to do all the things that I was doing. I realized that success, it's so like different because I started to like realizing what success for me, because for me, many people's success is in money, it's
Yeah.
materialistic stuff. It's like more money you have, more successful you are. Like in all these books about success, all like connected to the money, like, oh, this is how you get to do your discipline, you're like working this and this. And I'm like, success is so different from me.
It's
Like
a
if
feeling.
I decided exactly, and I feel like if I would decided to be a mother one day, right? And I used to say to the people, decide what it is for you success, because it's not about to being making millions. It's about being a great at something, like being great mother or being the great father or being a great teacher, like have the qualities that you want to add and just be it. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, in the beginning, you will fail many times and it's painful process of growth. And the thing is when you make that decision, that's when you started to grow and to be the best of something, whatever best it is. You you got to figuring out. And yes, your best today would be completely different than your best tomorrow or like yesterday. So accept that as well. It's not about like when you started to go in the gym, for example, like and you want to exercise. In the beginning, you're lazy because you haven't done it, and after like slowly, give yourself that time to get to that routine. It takes time. Everything
100%.
takes time and commitment. By continue just go to the gym sometimes and do nothing, just observe people. It's still work. You see, like it still motivates you slowly that you can do it.
Yeah, you're putting in a new habit. Yeah.
Exactly. It takes time. Absolutely anything takes time. And people nowadays impatient. Me as well. I've been one of them and now I'm kind of like learning more and more about patience. And I'm just feeling like everything takes time. Even the plant to grow from the seed to the
Yeah.
tree takes years. So how do you want to like learn about something, even about architecture, or art? Whatever you decided to, like it takes time to be good at it. It takes time to fail so many times and continue to fail, continue to be open to fail and have all that judgment that's coming from other people. And it's like just ignore it. And it's also, the skill to have by ignoring what other people say to you and continue to go your walk. Because when I've been a child and everyone tell me like, oh, come on, you're orphan, be realistic, you don't have money, you don't have this, how are you going to live all these countries? How are you going to travel? And I said, I don't know. I just want. That's it. And I did. The thing is like, people will always say to you something about
Mm.
relationships. about this, about that. And ask yourself, like many times I used to say to my friends, like, listen first why they said what you said. Are they successful in that field themselves? Are they have enough experience that you can actually listen to them? Is this like, do they have that right to say to you something that judgmental, like when you're writing the book, for example, like many people who didn't never wrote the book. I came with this like simple example. They say to you, oh, I would do like a little bit different color. I would add this. I would write. And I said, the people who wrote the book, who went through that painful process of publishing, and go through all the process of editing and all the work that they were doing, the people who did that work. I'm just feeling like they say like amazing job, keep going, keep changing the world for the better. Your book is amazing. You know what I mean? It's so different because
Different
people who
perspective.
went through the experience and people who just giving the advice or, I think it would be good to do this. I'm like, of course, sure. Next time I will think about that. That's what I do. And I'm just saying like, listen, like sometimes I'm like saying to the people, listen, have you write the book? Have you wrote the book yourself? Have you done that work? I mean, it's a process, it's a really process of
I've
sometimes you get to give a feedback to the people.
Yeah.
You
And I feel it's, that frustration of people talking the talk but not actually taking action to create a life that aligns for them. And like you said, with, your version of success, it comes down to a feeling and what aligns the most for your soul and what works for you. Like my choice at the moment is to focus on being a mum first and then everything else comes second because that's my focus. And I feel the most appeased at that because I know that's what my soul wants. So when you really tap into that, it's where you fall into alignment, and then you can get that inspiration and you can choose to make the change that you want to see in your life, and then hopefully spread it so it goes to everyone else as well. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was telling you. Would also like when women, especially like women, we women have so much pressure from the society in so many different directions. The thing is even to be the mother, choosing just be the mother and being with the kids, like not working, not bringing the money or like don't pay the taxes with the government, the society, judging you for that. They're like, oh, why did you say they don't bring the value, And I said like the woman who brings the value, it's at her house. When she choose to be mother and she choose to bring the value to her kids, to be the superhero for her kids, that's the value. Because if she will be working and let's say she would be spending so much time and energy on her career, she would not have so much energy to give to her kids. And who is going to grow the kids? The random people, who the people will get to hire and this and this. And I'm just saying that women have so much pressure nowadays and so many different directions that it's not easy to stay focused on doing the thing that we really enjoy doing. And many times it's not about making money. Many times it's serving to the people, like, and doing something that create way bigger value in a bigger picture than making all this career goals that I'll get to be more successful as a marketing. Or it's also good. But the thing is like each of us have a choice to decide. And I believe we get to have way more support by having our choices,
Yeah.
and instead to have that judgment that we're facing in reality, by not paying the taxes, by being at home or taking care of my husband or, my kids. You know what I mean? It's like when I was living in Norway, I remember it was a moment many women who decided to stay at home moms and have 2, 3 kids or 5 kids. And the society judging them, for that. Oh, you don't making money, you don't pay the taxes, you don't do this, you don't do that. And I'm just feeling like my friends was like complaining about that. Like society, like I want that society supports me. The opposite. They support you, of course, but like the people still have this like mindset of judging you, And I'm like, why we people have this in us to judge? Like someone lives that we even don't know the life. And we still have this like opinion of deciding what other people get to do, And
Exactly.
I feel like each of us has a choice and the feelings and the the reality that we want to live and we create every day, the most important for us to stay happy. And when we're living in the society, especially like in a big city, it's not easy to stay happy because it's like the bombarding
Too
so much
much energy.
information and so many different, aggression and frustration. And so how are you going to stay happy? Like
Well,
how?
that comes from within you, right? And I feel, Aisha, as we start to finish our time together, and I ask the guests that come on the show, if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
I think nothing. I feel it would be good to change the way people feel about each other. Like I would love people feel way more giving each other support and love and hugs, more hugs to the world. Hugs is very healing and it's very like beautiful and really like hugging each other. It's just so beautiful. Like for me, it's one of the like changes in the world by hugging people. I think like more hugs to the world will have less war and less frustration and less, touch is very important. It's like when people started to touch each other in more gentle and, like supportive and warm way, the world will be better.
Agreed. It's such a beautiful reminder because a hug can do so much to your body system. It's insane. And if people want to come in, check out your artwork or come and connect with you, where can they find you?
Well, people can find me on my website. I prefer like website is Aisha.today. It's AISHA.today. People can buy my book on Amazon. It's called like Joyful Living Guidebook. You can find it on all platforms. Just Google it, Joyful Living Guidebook by Aisha Makara. And the way I like put my art and my like great joyful advices, how you can keep being joyful and everyday life. Yeah, and my art is also on my website, and people can always connect with me directly through my website. I have all the information there about my projects, about my, what I'm doing right now, what I'm working on right now, then different investment opportunities here in Portugal. So if people would like to get to know about all these opportunities, they always can connect with me.
Amazing. And I'll make sure to put all those details in the show notes for you. Thank you so much, Aisha, for sharing your tips about living a life that aligns with you and nobody else, right? And just choosing your happy and choosing your way to be joyful in this world.
Yeah, and have the people, just 5 people max, who will be there for you and who will support you and keep the boundaries, like that's why also like I'm learning myself right now, like keep the boundaries, be surrounded by supportive people who really lift you up, your
100%.
energy.
100%. Definitely. Amazing. Thank you so much, Aisha. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.